One thing I had trouble with when I first started PRI was understanding the movement of the pelvis, and that in fact it's not just into flexion and extension, which is what we kind of learn as trainers, if it's really covered at all. What you have to realize is that with flexion and with extension, there's two other movements associated with each one. With flexion, which is what happens on the left side as the left pelvis falls forward, you also have abduction, so it's moving away, and external rotation, so it produces this flaring effect. So the left side comes forward, abducts, so it moves away, and externally rotates, so it's essentially opening up to the front, whereas on the back side, or on the right side, it's moving back into extension, it's adducting, coming towards the midline, and it's also internally rotating in the transverse plane. So there's three motions, and that's what was kind of messing me up. The big one that we talk about quite often is AFIR. So that is the acetabulum moving on the femur, internal rotation. That's what we have to get on the left side, because the left side is stuck forward and externally rotated, so it's called AFER. That left side is called AFER, and pelvic repositioning, the goal is to get AFIR. So we're trying to get that left pelvis back in. We want to internally rotate it and pull it back. And that's what we usually do with that left hamstring. That is the goal of pelvic repositioning as the first step in any PRI methodology. So what it would look like is, here's the left femur, and it's not going to be perfect because they don't fit, but I'm going to try it anyway. Remember, it is AFIR is what we're trying to get, but the pelvis is stuck in AFER, which means acetabulum moving on the femur, forward, flexing, and externally rotating. So that's what it's doing on the femur. We want to AFIR it. We want to do the opposite. We want to bring it into internal rotation. So from the side, I'm going to exaggerate what it probably is. Here's flexion and then external rotation, right? So it's flex. It's moved forward on the femur. You have to, using a hamstring that attaches back here, you have to pull it back over the femur into a neutral position. Pulling it back will also help to internally rotate it out of its externally rotated position. So you pull it back and it comes in. So from the front, here's flexion and external rotation. We have to bring it back and move it internally on the femur. And that is what AFIR is. Acetabular on femur, internal rotation, and that is what you have to understand completely to really understand PRI.